right, and now while we're on the topic of vegetable broths, I'm going to show you a couple different variations of actually healing broths, which you can drink to make yourself feel a lot better. So I'll go one at a time so it doesn't get too complicated. All right, the first one is what do we call our high immunity broth, okay? So this one goes like this. We get a little bit of ginger going on in there. We get some mushrooms next to that. And then we'll add some thyme, some rosemary, and some onion. Onion in there, as well as some garlic. So I'm just gonna take whole heads of garlic, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna split it right down the center so all of the garlic cloves are exposed, and then that goes in. I mentioned with the regular vegetable broth that we don't want any of these dry outer layers into the broths, so I make sure to peel that off first, and then I go ahead and, oh, there goes one clove flying. All right, so I get that off first, and then I'll go ahead and expose all the cloves. You see that beautiful head of garlic in there? So that goes in, and then we have our water go in. All right. And so, same process. We bring it up to a boil, and then we bring it down to a simmer. Half an hour later, our high immunity broth is ready to go. Now, this is one of the recipes off my Bravo Express cookbook, and why this one is so good, it's because, as the name says, it's a high immunity broth. So if you're ever feeling a little bit under the weather, feeling like you got a cold or a cough or sore throat, this is a natural remedy to all that. So you make this and drink 3 or 4 cups a day. It'll have you feeling much better in no time. All right, so now we're gonna switch over to our therapeutic broth. We're gonna use some Swiss chard. In this case, I'm using just the stem part of the chard because the leaves I'm gonna save and cook those later on. So the stems will go in the pot. Earlier you saw me split a kabocha squash and take the seeds out, and so I'm going to use that. So the second ingredient is squash, a winter squash. In this case, kabocha. It doesn't have to be the seeds. It could be the actual squash. It could be a butternut squash. It could be a acorn or a spaghetti or a red curry squash. But again, just like the regular broth, and we make it using trash, you can make sort of trash therapeutic broth as well. So in go the seeds of the squash. And then last but not least, sometimes you will have to use the actual product. I have here a couple of zucchini that I'm gonna cut and we're gonna throw in there. All right. Now why we make this broth? It's because if maybe you're not feeling sick, like you're under the weather kind of thing with a cold or a sore throat, that's why you would use the high immunity broth. But maybe your stomach isn't feeling so well. Maybe after you got sick and maybe you didn't eat for a couple days and you try to eat and maybe it's too much, food is a little bit much for you. It's not, feeling good going down your throat. So maybe you just need something very simple. So this would be essentially a natural sodium, natural sugar sort of broth, so that you drink this and it's very soothing for the stomach. All right, so now we go ahead and add the water to our therapeutic broth. So that goes in, and again, we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Same thing like all the other broths, high heat, get it to a nice boil. Then once it gets there, turn it down to a simmer so it's not spilling all over the place. And then you start your timer. 30 minutes later, the therapeutic broth is done. So we'll come back in a little bit, we'll strain these, and I'll show you kind of what they look like. All right, so our therapeutic broth and our high immunity broth have been cooking for half an hour. So I'm going to strain them and show you what they look like. Here is the high immunity broth. Strained completely. All right, so now you see this nice color on this guy. You are ready to heal that sore throat or that sneeze that you might have going on. And now we're going to strain our therapeutic broth as well. All right, and unlike the high immunity broth, which has this really sort of medicinal taste because it's got that rosemary in there and the ginger, this one's got a very sweet aroma coming from the winter squash. So if you use butternut squash or the kabocha squash or red curry squash, you'll feel this sort of sweet aroma that's like almost like dessert-like, in a state of, you know, my stomach can't handle anything. But yet here it is, something really nice and sweet with a nice sort of salty sort of undertones of the Swiss chard, which is really nice. So either one of these are meant for you to feel much better if you have something going on. Again, sore throat, you know, itchy throat, a sort of runny nose, you're feeling sort of down, like you're coming down with something, or your stomach can't handle something that's too much. This is a very gentle thing on your stomach. So I hope you get a chance to make both of these and use them and see how you like them.